Chris, looking good, my friend. Looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. So are
Yeah,
you.
it's
Well
great,
done.
man. It's great. I'm so glad you're here with me, man. You're
Me too.
scaring me lately, man, for sure.
Eh,
Yeah.
ain't nothing. Don't worry about me.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
We're musicians, as I like to say. Actually, my friend Barry said this. He's like, we're musicians. You have to kill us to make us stop.
That's so true. You know,
It is.
I have, I talked to a lot of you guys, and retirement's not a thing. It's not.
Right. It's like shutting the player off. No, it doesn't happen.
No, it just doesn't happen. You just go until you stop.
Right. Until nature stops you. Yes. The
Yes.
clock runs out and that's it.
Yep. Yep. It's a beautiful thing. It's love for that unbeatable spirit of music, man.
Yep. Yep.
It's pretty crazy. Super cool to have you, man. I was gonna give you an introduction, but it's the third, fourth time on the show. People know who you are, man.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
For sure, for sure. With Saigon Kick and Cold Sweat doing the thing, still active,
Yep.
and yeah, it's just so cool. Canal going on, uh,
Yep. Going
producing
to record some saxophone on Tuesday to finish up the record, the second one.
really
Yep.
awesome. That is great, man. That is great. Big Mick and the Curl going
Got number
still
5 on that one. I'm just waiting for some studio time to finish the drums. It's always the
unbelievable.
drummer. Sorry,
isn't
guys.
he
As it is.
isn't he usually the first guy?
Well, till you look to start the song, yeah, but if they're not doing it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to be there to do it.
But they're usually the most fun, you know.
Yeah, they come in two flavors, crazy or mellow, and they tend to prefer the first one. I've met the second one, but it's few and far between.
No doubt, no doubt. And you spend a lot of time with Phil
I
Verone,
do.
so
I do.
he definitely meets the first one.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. We have jokes that are 30 years old, and we just count on the other one filling in the punchline for him. Me or him.
It's great, man. How is Phil doing? I haven't heard a lot from him lately.
That's because have you seen this thing called the Prepared Hero? It's a blanket that you throw at fires. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Have you? That
I have.
Phil.
Yeah.
That's Phil's job to edit every single one of those. So,
Really?
yep. So he's
Wow.
doing all their spots, and they're huge. They've grown so much as a company in the last 3 years, I think it is.
Wow.
So that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
So unless there's some way to get him away from that isn't a fire or an editing suite, you're not gonna. He played Saigon. Well, with Jeff, played a gig last month in Atlanta, so he came out of hiding for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, hey, you got to be happy. You got to be busy.
He
Uh,
loves it,
that's great. That's all that matters, man.
and he's really good at it too. Which I think
Yeah,
he's great at things he loves, but he is at
that's
this one.
true.
He's got two going. Not
Yeah,
doing too bad.
that's great, man. That's great. Yeah, he is a kick. He is a fun dude, man.
Oh yeah.
Phil is just awesome.
From the
Uh,
day we met, it's been nonstop. Beeler
it's
too. I mean, Beeler's no slouch.
yeah, yeah,
We're in the brain quickness snakes, but Phil and I, it's always shtick
yeah.
and worthy shtick.
Well, he's just like yourself. You take this life thing not all that serious. You know what I mean? It's
No,
you wake up in the morning and you do your day. And then you hope to wake up the next day and do that one. Uh,
right? Yeah, yeah.
but for right now, it's today.
Yep,
Uh,
yeah. It's right now, present. Be
yeah,
present. Yep.
which for people who aren't aware, you've had Parkinson's diagnosis.
Yep. Still have it. Just I didn't get rid of it. Still got
Right. That's what I hear. I've
it.
done a
It
little bit
tends
of
to stick with
research.
you. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's incurable.
Right,
Uh,
but it's not fatal. I would like to point that out. It is not fatal.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
usually you die with it as opposed to because of it.
Okay.
Although you will see stuff in the news that someone died because of this or that and it was Parkinson's. Typically, I'm here to tell you, no.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I want to get into all kinds of stuff with that because, I asked Jody, the publicist,
Yes.
if you had music you were doing and what you wanted to promote or anything, and it was just, of course, she said he just wants to make awareness of Parkinson's,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about music and everything else, but you just want people to be aware. and
Sure.
and I thought, that's so Chris. Of course it is. You're I love the human being that you are. So it is that we're gonna do that. We're gonna bring light to some Parkinson's myths and things
Yeah.
like that. Because I don't think a lot of us know. We know Michael J. Fox.
Right.
That's kind of where we go. The layman with Parkinson's.
Yep.
He seems to be getting worse nowadays. But we don't know, if it's you lose it. Is it something that comes and goes? It is not. From what I understand, it will stay with you. You can medicate, you can
Yeah.
diet, you can exercise, things like that.
All
So
which are huge helps. And you can also do what I did, which is get a procedure called deep brain stimulation.
I saw that, and
Yeah,
it's
man.
man,
Great. So it
that
works.
that sounds terrifying. Uh,
Eh.
uh,
Dude, I'm telling you right now, here is the instrument, one of the ones that I make my living with. Says I couldn't do this. And I picked it up and did it the first time I turned my DBS off.
wow,
I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. I couldn't do it. They flipped the switch and I could.
wow,
So,
wow.
can I play the rest of it? No, I can't, not at this angle, but not bad.
uh,
I mean,
that,
literally, dude, I went from stumbling, I had to put my hands, like, look at the chord. Nope. I can do it.
wow.
I can do it now.
Now it's all a brain function. It's dopamine in the brain.
Yes.
Lack of.
Yep.
So your thoughts are all there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just not getting the thought to the hands.
Right. In that case, yeah. Yep.
Oh God.
So, I mean, they just kind of, you look at it and it just wouldn't work. And the worst part was it was slow. So it was eroding and it was
Um,
misdiagnosed 3 times, which is typical. That's not unusual.
yeah, yeah. Which
So,
frustrating in itself. But
yeah, especially when you find out the end result, you're like, well, how did you guys not know this the first time when
yeah.
I
Now,
came in here? It's kind of
now
obvious.
is there a Parkinson's test?
Yes.
There is.
Yep. There's
Okay.
two.
Okay.
Two biggies. There's one is on physical, which is they do things like touch my nose and that sort of stuff, or
Uh,
I call jazz hands. They have you do this.
okay.
Now, when I just went in for a tune-up, as I like to put it, last week, and all my stuff was great, but like this tap, if you call it, I
Uh,
could no way it would be uh, uh, and
no.
now I can go between the fingers, no problem.
Now you couldn't do that last week?
No, no, no. Before they started
Oh.
the brain
Oh.
stim.
Okay.
Last week I went and got tuned up.
Okay. Yeah. But so the tap is, everything seems to be working
Oh yeah.
as it should.
Yep.
Fantastic. And playing, does it change the way you approach the instrument? Because that's your livelihood. It's what you do.
Yep.
Um, what has changed for you with that? Have you adjusted anything, technically to adjust for the fine motor skills?
Yeah. I think the big thing is I have to be patient with myself and actually warm up. And there was a period there where I didn't play just because it was so frustrating. So I've had to regain some of my skills just through woodshedding. Now, I'm also at the point in my career, like, do I really want to play like Ingve all the time? Or do I want to play like Billy Gibbons, Gary Moore?
Right,
And I lean towards that anyway, the latter.
right.
So for me, it's as long as I pick up, like, I know I just picked up and was playing around with this thing, but I will sit down now and be able to write and get down what I want. Um, but it definitely takes warming up and kind of getting the beast going. So creaking, which I don't know how much of that is the Parkinson's with the DBS, and how much is just being in my 60s.
Right, right,
Right?
right. This is true. Uh, yeah, every time I get out of bed in the morning, it's a little harder to stand straight up. You know,
Yeah. And then
it's
the noises, you sound like a locomotive starting.
yeah, that comes with age for sure.
Right.
But yeah, that's okay though if you get there though.
Oh
With
yeah.
yeah, see, that's pretty great, man. That's pretty great.
Oh, on the first Kinell record, there were riffs I had to sew together. Like if you were spelling the word cat, I would have to go C-A and come back and get the T, right? If
Okay, yeah,
But now I can spell cat. You know,
yeah,
like I said, is it perfect? No, and I still have to correct stuff. Yeah, but the change is huge,
yeah.
just monstrous, which takes a lot of the frustration out because there were times I would try and get stuff down and just get stop doing it. Space bar, space bar, space bar, do it again, do it again, do it again.
Right.
Now that happens a lot less.
That's awesome, man. And you mentioned that the deep brain stimulation. From what I understand, and I'm completely a layman here. Uh,
Oh, so I can make stuff up and you'll believe it.
totally, totally.
Awesome.
You could tell me it's a little bear in there, I would
I go
believe
buy my own parts at Best Buy. It's killer. It's fun.
it. I understand that it is a surgical procedure.
Yep.
It is put in around the shoulder blade,
Yep.
and it
That's where the
stimulates.
battery goes.
Yeah, okay.
Like the battery on my side, they typically put here, which for those of you at home who are not looking at us, just above my heart. But since I have to worry about guitar straps, they put mine on the other side.
Ah, nice.
See,
That's
practical.
beautiful, man. Beautiful that they did that.
So,
Uh,
so I have to recharge this. I just do it every Sunday. I'll put on football and just watch. And it takes
yeah.
about an hour, and it beeps when it's funny. It just goes deep, 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 and when you have it over, it stops. And then when it's done, it beeps like it's fries. Fries it up.
Now, how do you charge it? I mean, is there
I have a battery that goes around my neck with a counterweight on it, and then just kind of lays on top and go.
okay, so it's kind of contact.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. The technology is
Oh, you ain't kidding, buddy.
oh my God. I mean, and this is wired to your
Oh yeah.
brain and
Yeah,
it's
it looks like I have
it's
two. It looks like I have two meat thermometers in my brain. So, or I don't know if you can see it, but you can. I call it my
yeah.
Hellboy. My Hellboy bumps. Here's one.
Okay. Yeah.
If not, pretend you can see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a little lighter. It looks a little lighter. Yeah, in
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And so I can see it when someone else has had it. So I was riding up in the elevator at MUSC, which is the Medical University of South Carolina Hospital. I saw another guy with it, and he was with his wife, and it looked like he had just had it. So I said to her, "Hey, what do you guys think?" She's looking at me like, "Don't kill me." I was like, "Relax, lady." I just pointed at his head, and she goes, "Oh yeah, you have it." And I said, "Yep."
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
was, I mean, I'm talking to two friends who are out in California, and he had it about a month ago, and they're dialing him up, and it's funny, not funny because that implies humor, but ironic that California takes so long to get you up and running. Where I was in, like they said, okay, we're gonna do your first checkup today,
Uh,
and I was up and running. I mean, I could tell immediately, and he's being told, okay, we're gonna do it slow, we're gonna do this, and I'm just like, oh, it's gotta be just brutal because when you get the first whack of it works, you want it now.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you've
Wow.
just corrected all these problems, and they're telling them, no, you can go very slowly. I'm just thinking to myself, I mean, that's me. I'd be, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to 10. now.
Yes. See, I'm that guy. I'm that guy where if I want to see if it works, I turn it all the way up, man.
Oh yeah,
Okay, it works. Now we're gonna
exactly.
adjust.
Right, right. Ah, it's too loud. Okay, bring it down. Fine.
Yeah. Forget about two or three, man. All the way to
Right.
10. Absolutely.
I get it. You're a doctor. This is your job, but I'm the expert. I have it.
Right. Right. Definitely. Man, that had to be a huge difference. Now I hear it's kind of like a for the heart would be
Pacemaker.
a pacemaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. About the
It's
same
a
size.
pacemaker for your brain.
Yeah, my dopamine center. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Well, because it's basically a chemical problem that if you try and correct it or work on it with pharmaceuticals, and then it really turns out to be more of an electrical problem. And this tends to work on the electronics in your head more than the chemical end of things. I
Yeah.
think that's why it's so effective as opposed to the pharmaceutical end. They're just guessing at your dose.
Right.
And
Right.
this, they can literally, they go in and I can see the pictures of the cannula where it's lit up, and what part of the brain it's working on. It's nuts.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you take a pill, it takes a few minutes, takes an hour to work. Maybe it's a little much, maybe it's not enough. This just goes straight there, man. Bang.
Yep. Oh yeah. And
Ah,
when it goes off, when it comes on, it's just the first time when it goes off, it's off. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have any medication in me, so it just brrrr, and now my left leg moves my right arm or my left arm because that's the side that it tends to be the worst on me.
Okay.
And then turn it back on. It's I can feel it go on, just and then okay, it stops. When they did the first dial up with me, they said, "Okay, you ready?" I said, "Yeah." All right, left leg, and it was just hopping on the floor, and it stopped. And right arm, same thing, moving, stop. Left leg, stop. Left arm, stop. And I'm just sitting still for the first time in 3 years. Could not believe it. And they're like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Hot dog." Thank you. And that's when I picked up the guitar.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
okay, I know this is all great because I think, and they've learned this with me because I've had to kind of show them that I'm not the usual patient. I have a specific need
Right.
career wise, right? I'm not, let's say, a mortgage broker, where as
Right.
long as I can type, I'm okay. No, I have different requirements and expectations of myself.
Hmm.
I want to be at my professional level. So
Right.
I've really got with them on that. And now one of my doctors is a guitar player. So she'll
Oh.
go. So I'll bring a guitar and I'll run a scale. Okay, you having trouble with the left ring finger? Yeah. Okay, hold on. And the crazy part is, man, when they say hold on and they change it and it gets better, it's like, well, hell. I have a what do you call it, a hook on my golf swing. Can you fix that?
Right, exactly. Seriously. It is that precise they can fix like a finger.
Yep.
Wow. Unbelievable. That is
Yeah.
just
The doc who did my surgery said when he came in at 5:30 in the morning the next day, I slept for like 15 hours or something. And he comes in and I said, "Hey, thanks. Great. How'd you think it went?" And he goes, "Perfectly." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, we made that left side stop."
that's
I was like,
crazy.
"Killer." I was like, "Thank you." I was
Yeah.
like, "You did this for me. What can I do for you?" He goes, "Bring me a picture from the gig." So I did.
Man,
Because he was getting me done in time to do the M3 festival.
unbelievable.
Yeah, he goes, "You got a date you want to make with this?" I was like, "Yeah, May 3rd. We're playing we're playing a gig." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, it's an outdoor festival." He's like, "Wow, okay, we'll get you there."
That is and how did it feel at that
Killer.
gig? Really?
Yeah.
Just like nothing.
Yeah. I had to be careful though, because I can get cocky quick and then I don't need to go spilling over into the orchestra pit.
Yeah.
We did Months on the Mountain, and by that point I'd had it about 6 or 8 months. So I came roaring out like the old days, just running out and running back, and I'm just like, slow down. If you
Yeah.
fall,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're gonna be this is not just oops I fell. It could be oops I fell and broke my arm because I'm
Yeah.
just dumb and cut. It's like, first time on a motorcycle.
rock and roll, man. Yeah.
Right.
You can't, sometimes you just can't stop it. Yeah, that is so great though, man. That is really, really something. Uh,
Yeah.
it's cool. Um, do you have that? Will you have that forever?
Yeah.
Did they
Yep.
just, okay. So they
Well,
might,
and keeping with the Terminator, this battery pack is going to become more self-aware. So it's going to start say because sometimes I have a little bit more than another, or because I have a remote that comes with it, and I can bring myself up and down. Like I was telling you about my buddy in L.A. or
okay,
sorry, San Jose,
okay.
who's just learning to go up and down with the clicks,
Uh,
and so I can adjust it
man.
and make it better, make it worse. And as the AI, well, they don't even call it AI really. It's just this thing as Cyberdyne becomes more self-aware here.
Yeah.
It can sense it. Let's say I'm just having a bad day with this finger again, so it just adjusts, and then when it's okay, it stops and it goes back to the previous setting.
Oh, man, it's just so awesome.
It
Uh,
is.
it
It really
really,
is.
it really is, man. I'm so thankful that they have this and that you can have some peace and because I mean, all right, it's physical, right? But there is a mental side to this. I mean, for somebody like myself on the outside watching you go through it, there's a mental thing that happens.
Yep.
D- and as a bystander, I say to myself, how much do you reach out? How much do you try to comfort the person? Because they're in their own mental state dealing with this. Do you keep reminding them that they have it and hey, I'm there, or do you just kind of let them be? So it's this awkward bystander, friend loving family thing for the person who doesn't have it, but for the person who is dealing with this, mentally, it has to be exhaust. I mean, it's just the exhaustion that you must experience, and there's got to be about a depression that comes with it, and everything else. Um, how and I look at your posts, and of course these are public, and
Sure.
we're not inside your head and the darker times probably, but your spirit is just so inspirational, man. I see these posts and it's like, man, I wish I could deal with everything like Chris deals with stuff, because it's just so, you find humor, still,
Oh,
so
there's a lot of it.
I mean, how was it for you to did you just roll with it? Did you find yourself in dark places? All of that. Was it really exhausting mentally?
It was at first because I could trick my body into slowing down and not moving, but that took so much control. Like I
Yeah.
realized there was one I had to go in for an MRI for a knee operation, and I had to just tell myself make it stop, and you can. Like I've seen Fox do it in interviews, and
Yeah.
he's I'm sure got lots of practice, but for me I think the DBS stepped in at a time and alleviated that because I've got a couple friends who are definitely they deal with the depressing sides of it more than I do, and
Okay.
I think also you're wired that way or you're not.
Yeah.
I have one friend who just seems to be just crippled by the fact that he has it.
Right.
Never mind the fact that so do I.
Right.
But I'll have a couple of these guys call me. Oh, I just want to talk to you because I know you'll bring me up. I'm just going, oh, great, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes where I just think to myself, wow, you go through the why me bit, and you're like, well, why not me? So I'm speaking at a DB. It sounds hilarious because you don't usually equate this with academia, but I'll be speaking at a DBS symposium in November, and They said, "Do you want us to write the questions out as I specifically want to do?" I was like, kind of like when I told Jody, "Nope."
Yeah.
And they said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, really." I
Yeah.
said, "You know, no one should be afraid to ask a question because if they are, it might give them the answer they want or not. But don't sit in the area where I don't know what's going to happen if I ask."
Right. Right.
So I told them, I was like, no, you can ask anything you want. I'll be honest with you. Just
Yeah.
be aware I may use profanity. I do this one thing for Dennis Quaid has a TV show called I think it's called Outreach, and it was all about the DBS unit here at Charleston in at MSC.
Yeah.
And the director of the program said, "Well, what did you think when you first found out?" And I said, "Can I swear?" And she looks at me and she goes, "What?" I said, "Swear, profanity." She goes, "Yeah, we can bleep it out." And I just lit it up, because yeah, I was fucking mad,
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm looking at them right now. I got all my running tags up above my monitor, my studio.
Uh,
I was running half marathons and winning my age group, all sort of stuff. I
yeah.
go to the gym, I eat right, you know.
Right.
And then, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I get this. I'm thinking to myself, what? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
But
That's what I was thinking is, me, I get a pizza and a beef here in Chicagoland, and
oh
I don't
yeah,
take care of myself, I got stuff I need to do and I don't do it the way I should and all of that. And, I mean, I'm the guy that should be getting this stuff. I mean, you're a rock and roller, man. You're in great shape. You take care of yourself, all of that kind of thing. Super bright, smart guy. Just how does this happen? How do you get picked for this? you know,
great
uh,
question. Yeah, no kidding.
it
Dumb
really,
luck
it
because
is, man.
I had said to my doctor, my GP, when he first did they call it a ratchet test, where they move your elbow and they feel like a dick in your joint. And when he told me, I remember standing up and going, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Don't worry." He's like, "Half of this is mental, and you got that part down. You'll be all right." And I'm
Wow.
thinking to myself, easy for you to say. I didn't just say, "Hey, by the way, I think you got," no.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Wow.
it
And
was,
yeah, I mean, it is a lot of it is mental,
oh
which,
yeah,
and that's another thing that's mistaken, I think. And, we see it as physical,
yeah,
and, it affects you physically, but it's something mental that you can
oh
make
yeah.
better, overcome some things with thought.
Yeah, or not, or you can succumb to them. Is
Right.
your decision. Like Fox, I think, is the perfect ambassador for this sort of thing because of the way he's wired. He just is that way.
Yeah.
We went to a fundraiser his last November, and I'm watching him in the crowd at the table, and he's 10 feet away from me, and he's doing the thing you see him doing is what they call dyskinesia. His head's moving, it's all the
Yeah.
it's terrible. Then he goes up and talks to the crowd, and he stopped. So I was like, well, how does he do that? Does he have a DBS union that they flip on only for special occasions instead of they give him a shot?
Right.
I don't know. Or is it here in his
Hmm.
head? I don't know. But it
Right.
was amazing to watch. And I was hanging with some other friends of mine there, and I was like, I'm now the DBS salesman practically. I'm like, you got to get it, man. He's like, because he's trying to put something on his dinner and his hands are shaking like crazy. I'm like, look, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, thanks to this thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Now, could that stop tomorrow? Sure, anything can. But as it stands right now, being present and all that,
yeah.
I, I just, I have to think that the mental part is a huge component.
Yeah.
Just much. I also know that for the DBS um, acquisition, shall we say, um, I had to go through a 4-step program for evaluation, and
Okay. Not
oh,
everybody can have it then.
ooh, I didn't know that until afterwards. I'm
Wow.
still I'm walking. Going, well, yeah, sure. Why you wouldn't ask me if I couldn't do it, right? I could have flunked at any point, but nope.
Wow. So what is that? What is the evaluation like? Is it an IQ kind of thing or a
Yeah,
mental? It is. Okay. You have to
yeah,
have the brain capacity to handle it.
yeah. Yep.
Wow.
First was a 4.5 hour cognitive testing. I can tell you, whoever throws around in the news that this person or that person should have cognitive testing, that is no joke. I mean, I was doing it, and it's one on one, and it's like I said, 4.5 hours. And I remember saying to the doctor about 3 hours in, I was like, "This sucks." And he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Relax though, because it's designed to make you fail." And I was like,
Ah,
"Uh-huh." I said,
yeah.
and I kind of gave him a look, and he goes, "Yeah." So the farther you get, the harder it gets. I said, "So the more I go up the mountain, the more the birds are going to shit on my head."
Right.
I wouldn't have put it that way, but yeah. So, and funnily enough, his name's Crowley, so I love playing him in the head. I got Ozzy in
Yep.
my head. So I did that. Then I had to have a linguistics test, which really kind of felt more like a TBI test, traumatic brain injury. So
Okay.
they had to see if I could put things together in sequence and spell things and words and all that. And at that point, I asked um, I guess the administrator of the test would be a good term. I said, um, "How am I doing here?" She goes, "Well, unofficially, you got an A." And I was like, "Wow, okay. What about the other part?" And she said, "Oh, you're already in. You passed the hardest part."
Wow.
Okay, good. Now they meet every month and they decide who does and who doesn't, and get it. But I had already been moved on, so I had to kind of go through then the surgical process.
Yeah.
Then it was kind of like the educational. Here's what you do. Here's what you're looking for. And then the last one to me was the easiest. It was meet the surgeon,
Okay. Okay.
and he'd done 1,600 of them. And I'm like,
Wow.
so you got this done? Got down, I should say.
Yeah.
And they only do like 2 or 3 a month here in Charleston, So he's been doing them since they first started doing them in the late '80s in
Wow.
Sweden. So when I asked him about the battery pack, I said, "Can we move it over there?" And he goes, "How come?" And I told him, he goes, and he hitched, and I was like, "Well, you've done 1,600 of these. You don't need 1,601, and I'm the one, and it doesn't work right." And he's like, "Okay." Then the morning of, he goes, "We'll put it on the right." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah. I'm not gonna deal with some dumb MRI tech who can't get his shit together." He's like, "Yeah, we'll do what you want." So, but yeah, man, I'm not kidding. That 4 hour test was like, okay, the worst algebra meets calculus meets linguistics test. Oh yeah, brutal,
Wow.
but work.
Yep.
Now, like you said, it's a heavy duty evaluation. They don't let anyone have this, and they told me that. They
Yeah.
said we have such high success with this program that we don't let just anyone have it. I said, "Yeah, but you guys kind of moved me through quick." And I said, "Well, yeah, we had our eye on you from the second you came in."
Wow. Um,
Really? Oh, what am I, Steve Rogers? For those of you listening at home and nerding out, that's Captain America.
well, I mean, when you open your mouth, you are a wordsmith. You're obviously very intelligent. You were mentally, it's like from what you can see on the outside, you're mentally capable of handling what you've been given.
Right.
Uh, and I'm sure that was a gleaming that they don't see that often, probably, I would
I,
imagine.
I think you're right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know any better because I'm just there. I'm just being me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here, you'll like this one. So this is a musician one. So I go in the first time for the like. Let's see if this guy can even cut it kind of thing.
Right.
And because I kept a diary and I take medication, and they want to see on periods and off periods. And on is when the medication is working, off clearly it does not. Right.
Right.
So I had filled out 4 days worth of diaries, and they could tell it didn't work on me. And
Yeah.
they said, "Okay, we're going to come in and talk to you, and just are you willing to talk about DBS?" I was like, "Yeah." So, so they sit me down. They go, "So, Mr. McLernon, what do you do?" I said, "I'm a musician." I get this kind of, yeah, great. And I fired back, "Look, man, I'm playing Margaritaville in Margaritaville, okay?" And the guy says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I made records. Number one on MTV, platinum. I've played on a number one record. It's not a hobby. It's who
Right.
I am." So he's kind of like, "Oh, wow." I was a bit of a dick about it, but it was a dick question, you know?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, we talk a little more. He goes out, and all of a sudden, 5 more people come in. I'm like, okay, who Googled me?
Right, right, right.
They had. So, Mr. Vernon, oh, well, you've had this record. What was it like? And your friends at blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool. Does this mean we can do it
Yeah.
now? Now I have credibility.
Wow.
It worked. It totally worked. And again, unintentional. My dad's like, I don't know how you walk into these things. I'm like, walk into what? The Parkinson's or the DBS? You know, out of the two, I'll take the DBS because it worked. But yeah,
Yeah.
that the next step then was scheduling the surgery itself,
Yeah. Wow.
which is a hoot.
Yeah. 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 It's just, it's great that, like I say, it's great to have the technology, and so blessed that you were able to get it. Super cool. Now you're dealing with all this, you get it straightened out. Um, then you get a diagnosis of throat cancer
Right.
last year.
Yeah. Last
End
February.
of, yeah, okay. Uh, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I
Thanks.
mean, what the hell, man? Uh, where to, first of all, mentally for me to think about is, okay, I get through one of the hardest things that anybody has to deal with. Parkinson's is a very ugly thing. Um, I get throat cancer. Oh, I cash in my chips. I'm done, man. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I
what the
do.
fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something obviously is working against me here in this life thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your first thought when you're diagnosed with throat cancer? I mean,
Well, I call it the 3 little words. You don't want that one. You got I love you or you have cancer.
right.
But there's 3 other little words, which is you don't have cancer. And I heard those 3 too. But yes, um, I was rehearsing in the car. We get ready for the Monsters of Rock cruise, right? So that's why I tend to rehearse because I can sing really loud and high, and I
Right.
can't do it at the house. Well, I shouldn't, but I do. Yeah. Oh well. Um, and I hit this note in delivering the goods just before the third verse. Right? It's a high note. It's this note. For those of you playing at home with this one,
Mm.
ain't nobody here to pay ya. It's that note. Wow. See, that's good. I just hit it, and I haven't been hit in a while. So anyway,
Awesome.
you go live and in person. Way to go. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
So I did it, and I had to push really hard, and I was like, ah, what is that? Because I thought you good old fashioned New Jersey loogie. I went.
Right.
So I take it out of my mouth, and it looks like the tip of a pencil eraser,
Oh,
right? And I'm like,
wow.
okay, it's not bloody. It literally just looks like it popped off a pencil. I was like, okay, so I put it on the console. Now I have a navigator,
I,
and I go to my dentist, who's kind of a freak about this sort of stuff. He always checks me for oral cancer.
okay. Good.
And I,
That's really
and I said, so what do we have? I don't know. I've never heard of this. So, okay. So, and I happened to see my GP the next day, who's real on top of things. And he goes, wow, what the hell? He's like, I've had people cough up food, teeth, and what they call uh, tonsil stones. He's
Ooh.
like, but I don't. He's like, what is this? I was like, you're the doctor for
Right.
God's sake. I
I'm
didn't
asking you.
walk into a myologist and say, hey, you guys know what this is?
Right.
So, so it comes back a week later and said, by the way, you got it's squamous cell carcinoma. And I was like, huh?
Well, yeah. In
So
English.
what do we do? So they set me up with like the guy like on in the southeast, a guy named Terry Day, doctor, of course. And I went up and saw him. He said, "Okay, here's what you got. It's in both tonsils. We'll take them out. Give you a little bit of radiation if we don't get all of it, which they didn't. So I had to go through it. I was in what they called a little bit of radiation, and after seeing what a lot of radiation is, I went through a little radiation.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. And my sister, who was a doctor, dragged me around. Okay, we'll go here, we'll go here. Well, this first, that first, radiology, now back to here. So I did 5 weeks of radiology at a really basic dose, no chemo. But man,
Okay.
first I had the tonsils out, which if you're an adult and you're listening to the show, don't get your tonsils out. I don't care if they tell you to. It hurts bad. So
Really, such a minor little thing that we all get when we're kids. Not all of us, obviously.
right, yeah,
uh, but tonsillitis, you get your tonsils taken out. Every kind of 90
right,
percent of kids probably get it.
yeah,
No big deal.
nope.
As an adult, big deal.
Oh, dude, it looked like they went at the back of my mouth with a melon ball scooper.
Oh,
Doctor said later, we got he's like, we don't have any. If you need another biopsy, I don't know where we're going to get it. I was like, well, that's good. To me, that says that there's no room to get it because it's not there. So, all of a sudden, I get this very, I guess, good diagnosis, and the doctor says, look, if we do this and this and this, it's curable. You will get out of here. Done. 5 years. We'll do all your checkups and all that, and you're out. Okay,
awesome.
cool. And I thought to myself, I was talking to Greg Chase on about this because he had it about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Him and Doug Aldrich is another guy who had it about
Right.
6 months ahead
I
of
just
me.
talked to Doug about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
He get
Doug was a huge help.
Yeah, because he said, when you go to your dentist, make sure they check it because that's how he found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. See, so my dentist was onto something.
Yep.
So,
No doubt.
so I said to Greg, geez, I must have done something right to the right person. He goes, I think you did the right thing to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I get for being polite, I guess.
Yep.
Mentally and spiritually polite.
It-
But so they set me up for that. And man, let me tell you, I had to turn off my DBS for the radiation. So
that's what I was going to ask you. That had to have some kind of an effect. So you turn off, then you're then you're
moving
back
and
at
shaking.
yeah, then you're back at square one with the Parkinson's.
Yep.
Wow. But you only had to turn it off for the radiation,
Yes.
right? And then you could turn it back on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, the flip side of that is I moved so much then to strap me down with these big Velcro blankets, right? But my leg, again, that was the culprit, the left leg. So they would tape me down with packing tape to make sure I didn't move. I said I looked like a drunken Mexican wrestler on the worst luge ride ever.
And I'm laughing, and I'm and it's I feel I don't know how I feel about that. I feel terrible that I'm laughing. I really, really, really do, because this is not funny at all. Uh, but
But it is.
you have to laugh, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you
You got
know,
it.
uh, wow. I just picture you, being taped down,
Oh, yeah.
with duct tape on a board. That is not funny. It's faceplant funny, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow. The lengths you've gone through to take care of this stuff are crazy, man. Crazy.
So they get that process down. So I do that 25 times, once a day, every weekday for 5 days, right? And then 5 weeks on top of that. So it was pretty quick, but you know, it didn't come without its side effects. So I had just gotten over the tonsillectomy, and then the radiation side effects hit. And man, let me tell you, that was the worst pain I've ever had. Even the nurse said, "Your head and neck, they get it the worst." I said, "But how does it look?" And he goes, the Dr. Sharma, who's Indian. So you hear him coming down the hall, and then you hear all these Southern white women, Southern black women.
Right.
So you hear all these sounds going. It's like, this is amazing for us. So I'm trying to pick up on accents. But I said, how's it look back there? And he was cooked. I was like, no, thanks. So I looked back there, it looked like a Victorian graveyard. Black, blue, brown, white, just horrendous.
Wow.
So so then I had to deal with opiates, which work, but they don't come without their side effects. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm looking at all the other people who are preparing themselves mentally, physically, emotionally with their families for um,
Sure.
radiation. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I got lucky. I won't complain. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so I got through all that, and then they have you ring a bell, which I did, and I practically pulled it out of the nurse's hand. I was so happy to ring the bell.
Yeah.
Um, but it was 5 weeks of that, and then the radiology doctor had said, you'll feel better about 2 weeks after it. Yeah, he was wildly optimistic. So I was
I,
just wiped out. By the way, at that time, this is again, hey, universe, you want to just back up a little bit? My father in law died. So I'm just like, oh, God. So my wife had to go to Florida and take, because she's the executor. So I'm just
okay.
going to, so like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch When Worlds Collide. I'm going to watch Day of the Earth. So I just bought as many movies as I could. And I just sat there and watched them. Me and my dogs just
Yep.
took it easy because I couldn't do anything anyway. And
Right.
then I didn't eat because it hurt so badly. So I had to
Oh.
kind of teach myself how to get around that pain. So what I would do is I would take the advantage of being a singer. You know how to move your tongue around. So I would take my tongue and like make it like a channel, and then
Uh,
put the straw in there from the shake cup, and then just quick as fast as I could just drink it before the pain hit.
oh my God.
So
It's just brutal, man. That's just unbelievable. Um, now the throat cancer.
right.
Is there anything that you've done? You weren't
No,
ever a smoker or anything like that, right?
no. Turns out there's two
Yeah.
ways you could have gotten this, and mine was from a virus, not carcinogens. So
Okay.
they don't know how I got this particular type. I mean, I could have gotten it, from the word go, meaning I caught it in the womb, literally.
Right.
They said I could have caught it making out with some girl when I was 15, in high school. This particular one, they don't have nailed down yet. It's not like the
Oh,
other one, which is from an STD, the Michael Douglas version.
okay. Yeah.
So you can't get it that I didn't get it that way. Although when my doctor brought that, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, he was my boss. He's like, huh? So I showed him a picture of us getting a gold record, and he's like, again, he's thinking to himself, who the fuck is this guy? But I said to my sister, this kind of works for us, doesn't it? She goes, yeah, it's kind of got a very backstage pass feel. We're going from this guy to this guy, and
Yeah.
fast, fast, fast. And my thought was, hey man, you were treating me like I have stage four. So that's fantastic because that means you will treat your stage four as importantly as you treat your stage one.
Hmm. Yeah.
And they were all just so great.
Uh,
Just they do really good job of hiring who they hire. Everyone was helpful.
see, and and that is very, very important.
Oh yeah,
In
man.
that atmosphere, that is essential for sure.
And
Um,
I think there again, back to me, I think and how I describe myself, that's the way they're wired.
right.
It, that's just them.
Right.
They're not forcing it.
Mm,
Unless they're really good actors. And I'm guessing the Trident Medical Center does not have Oscar winners on the staff.
yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's that good around
Right.
here.
Right. Yeah, my daughter just started. She's a nurse, right out of school. She's in an ER now.
Cool.
And
Woohoo.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she's been there 4 or 5 days now. The stories. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow. I'm like, there's got to be an ER nurse that's writing a book. I mean, you have to. The stories that she's told in just 4 or 5 days, man. Just bizarre stuff, man. People are strange, man. There's no,
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then the weekend comes.
yeah, 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 no doubt. Pretty wild. But she's emotionally involved, and I would imagine some of that goes away over time, where
Yeah.
you've seen it before and things like that. But she's in it for the right reasons. She has to help people. It's essential to her being a human being. uh so there's it's that it's engineered into who she is,
Right. Yep.
and that will never go away.
Right.
You get numb to things, but you always want to be that nurse, helpful, cure things, treat people,
Listen.
listen is major. Yeah. So bless those people, man.
Oh yeah. Couldn't
Man, oh
agree
man,
more. Could not agree more.
couldn't
And I
do
was,
it
and
without them.
then I finish out the whole shtick, right? And they, this is crack. The things that you just don't expect in your life. We made you something. Oh, what? I'm thinking to myself, cake, or no, they've gone on a Google image and found a Saigon Kick 8x10 and all signed it for me. We missed your blah blah great patient. Thanks so much. And they got the whole department to sign it and drew stars all over it. I was like, wow,
That's
killer.
it's
Thank you.
cool. Yeah, that is awesome, man. And to have a crew like that and people like that around you,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
it's it makes it doable,
yeah.
for sure. You had to over the course of all of this, you had to think about your mortality,
Oh yeah.
obviously. Were you comfortable with where you were at in your life? What you've said to your family or done in your life, things like that. That whole bucket list thing. Um, you have to take inventory at some point and
Yes.
go, if I go, and did I say the things I wanted to say, do the things I wanted to do? Am I ready for that?
Um, yeah, I think luckily for me, I'm that way anyway. I mean,
Okay.
you've spoken with me more than once, obviously. So I'm more than happy to nothing's off base, and if I'm thinking it, I'll say it.
Yeah.
I think that has been opened up even farther. So my bullshit detector has gone way into the sensitive range. So if something stinks, I just say it. Like, nope, not doing it. I'm out of here. No, no.
Right.
Well, how come? Well, because I don't want to.
Yeah.
And as far as like bucket list of places to go, luckily due to the uh, occupation that I chose, I got to travel a lot. I got to play my dream. I got to go play in front of a lot of people, get to meet my idols.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. Now, that being said, there's always new things to pull out of the bucket. I'm going to go see Paul McCartney in November. This is the first time I've seen a Beatle. So,
Yeah.
but, but this comes from my friend Sanjeev, who is got Parkinson's, and I met him through my high school roommate who has Parkinson's. Yeah.
Wow.
So Sanjeev turns out he's a huge music fan, and he's unreal. He'll just walk up to people who look like they might have Parkinson's and ask them. And I'm just
Okay.
like, dude. But he's a financial analyst, so I'm sure he's going risk benefit.
Right. Right. Right.
So, but yeah, so he found out I was a Beatle fan. He's like, we got to go see Paul, and I'm just like, yeah, we do. And I'm just putting off. So he's just a generous, kind guy, and it's
Yeah.
fun to talk about that.
Yeah.
But he's like, nope, we're going. You're Atlanta. We're going to Atlanta. So,
Absolutely, man.
and there's going to be another one of those, I'm sure. Like, obviously, Kiss won't play again, but that's fine. I got to know them, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I figure a Beatle is pretty good. If I can see one Beatle, that's a quarter of them, and I'll take it. But
Yeah.
there has been some things like going places. There's definitely some trips I want to hit, and a lot of them are just right here, like in the U.S. All the national parks,
Okay. Right. Right.
right? I'm now you're in Chicago, so I know this. I'm a Packer fan, so I gotta. I have never been to Lambeau Field.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I'd like to go do that, but I've been to Wrigley Field, so
Yep. Yep.
these things even out. But
Yeah.
that's there. Yeah, luckily, I think there's a small list of things to do as well, but or in addition to what I've done. But it's a matter of, I think, to your mortality question, there were a couple of times where I thought, well, what if they're wrong? And they
Right.
do another
Right.
PET scan. Like, look, Mr. McLERNON, I'm sorry, but we found this giant tumor on your liver,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have to prepare yourself for that. Like, well,
Yeah.
what would I do if they told me that? And my first thing is investigate what, because I thought about all this stuff. Investigate what sort of treatments, and go back to cost benefit analysis. My mother had colon cancer, so they were they were kind of picturing her treatment plan, and my sister, who's a doctor, said,
Right.
"Look, if we this was in September about 5 years ago. She said, look, if my mom doesn't take your prescribed plan of attack here, how long will she live?" And they said maybe till Christmas. And if you put her on this stuff called Keytruda, which is like um, just scorched earth, it's like napalm times 10 for the immune system. How long will she last? And the guy goes, February. And she said, well, what would her life be? Well, she'd be probably bedridden. Bridget just went, nope, fuck that. No dice. Not happening.
No way.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would definitely take the Warren Zevon effect with it. I'm just going until I drop. If
Yeah.
if it was that bad. But I had to kind of look at that demon in the face and go, yeah, I've never had to really acknowledge you on my shoulder before, but you're there.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And I never have faith or religion or on the show, and it's just so personal. I never it never comes up to on the show, and I appreciate it not coming up. Um, but this elicits that conversation a little bit.
Right. Like,
You know,
what's next?
yeah, yeah. So, for you personally, what was your faith basis before, and has it changed since?
No, I'm definitely more of the uh it was if I had something I wasn't gonna worry about because I already had it. I think the Parkinson's was kind of like a warm up for it. It was bad, but it wasn't fatal. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a brushback pitch, Whoa,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
put me in the dirt, but you haven't hit me in the head yet. So, but yeah, I mean, if I'm close to anything, it's Buddhism. And my thought was, well, this is my lot, and I can either be really good at living or really good at thinking about living. And the thinking about living is what screws up the just living part to me.
Yep,
So
yep.
back to the idea of just rolling with something, just thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm asking the waitress, what's the thing everyone should order? And you don't order. Oh well, you should get this. Okay, so it's like anything goes now,
Yeah.
which makes it sound like I'm drinking lard milkshakes, but with a bacon chaser, but I'm
Yeah.
not. But if someone asked me, and I was always pretty blunt. I got a friend of mine said, "You're very polite, but you're very blunt." I've gotten more blunt, but
I like blonde.
it's all designed to save everybody time because that's what you got is your time. And the biggest fallacy I think you can tell yourself is, I got a lot of it.
Yeah,
And the idea is you may or you may not. So now I'm very cognizant of wasting time. So
yeah.
like last night, I watched two documentaries. And the second one, I was like, I look at it, it's like, that's like an hour and a half and it's 10 o'clock. Well shit, 11:30 is not late. Go play.
Yep.
And now it's simple, but I'm glad I did because I loved it.
Awesome.
Killer. Awesome, awesome, awesome documentary called The Kid Stays in the Picture.
Ooh,
Good.
nice.
But um but I think also the fact that when I came off the radiation and I didn't, oh by the way, when the doctor said 2 weeks, my other doctor
Yeah.
said, what? He goes, no, it's gonna be like mid-August. I was like, this is the beginning of August, and he was right. So
Yeah.
but I'm sitting there
Wow.
watching all these things and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I don't want to waste what I'm handed here so far.
Right.
So, and a lot of it is guesswork. So,
Yeah.
kind of picking on doctors and picking on quote big pharma and all that. They're out there doing their job and trying to make me better, make me feel better, and it worked for me.
Yep.
Now, I saw a whole lot of people in that waiting room who it was not that good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I was able to look at it, I think, from a different angle. However, back to the Buddhism thing, if you have a glass of water and you just turn it just a hair once a day, in the year it's turned 360.
Hmm.
So well, a little different, or is it? I don't know. So I was really able to surrender to I don't know, and I don't mean the Ozzy song.
Right.
Although
Yeah, it's a good surrender.
Speaking of Ozzy, I
Yeah.
get asked. I'll preempt a question here. I get asked a lot about like what do I think of Ozzy's Parkinson's and blah blah blah, and he died from Parkinson's. If you listen to Ozzy say it, he's like, "My Parkinson's is mild and controllable," and if you looked at it, it was. But
Yes.
and I think Jack asked him like, "Well, then what's the bad part?" He's like, "That spinal surgery I had."
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, "What do you guys do with the bargain doctor? You get anybody in the world."
Yeah.
But I can also understand, man. They're just thinking, well, he's redlining. We got to get him in here.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard, my wife's got bad back, and they've offered, to do all kinds of things to her back, and she's researched it, and it's like, no matter who does it, there is a good chance that might even get worse.
Right.
So it's just not something you mess with with any kind of knives or tools. Uh,
No.
it's just one of those things that it's maybe not.
Right.
She's not ready to take that chance.
Well,
Yeah,
and as things are going here, stem cells and all that could change it in 5 years. I've had my
right.
doctor say to me, I've seen more changes in the last 5 years than the last 10.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Wow.
like I was telling you, with this being regenerative and self-aware, I
Yeah.
asked the last time I was in there, it's like, oh yeah, we might have to pull it out and put a new one in, but if we do, it's going to be better. I'm thinking, okay, go with me.
Just awesome, man. This is one of those. It's just something that, do your research.
Yeah.
If by some horrible turn of the card that you contract the disease, look into it, because I've talking to you and doing the research online, and there's so many things that we think it is, or there's a lot of myths about Parkinson's, and
Oh yeah, there sure are, and I was I took to a few of them, but that's
yeah.
the other thing it's taught me is that don't go to Doctor Google for one, and two,
Yeah.
and I love my neurologist. I think if I was a doctor, I'd become a neurologist, but they they only know what they know, and if you have a question, do not be surprised they say, "Huh, I hadn't thought of that." But they'll go find out and come back and say,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah," because I had more than once where I would say something, "Oh, huh, we've never thought about that." And they come back and they say, "That's a great idea. Do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I will. Or I did this and it didn't work, or like
Right.
one thing
Uh,
that they haven't come to a consensus yet, but it's DBS apparently doesn't do well with swimming.
Swimming.
Swimming. So that means no surfing for me.
Wow.
So I've had a couple of them say don't surf, and I've had a couple of them say, go ahead. And I'm thinking, you know
Uh,
what? I think this is the one thing I'll err on the side of caution. Go, I can wait.
yep.
Maybe boogie board, maybe just swimming in the pool or someone can fish me out.
Uh,
I don't need to swim that badly anymore.
yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's one thing. When it's working, I just leave it alone.
Yeah.
There's some things I can sacrifice there for sure. Uh,
Yep.
let's talk. I don't want to take up your whole day, Chris. I know.
Dude, whatever you need. Don't worry.
Let's talk about the music. We've got
We
the
do have
fifth.
that, yes.
The fifth you've produced, and that came out. I talked to Roy. That came out in May. Super proud of the record. It's really great. What was that experience like for you? And are you going to continue working with them?
I'd like to, yeah. Well, what it was like was for me, I guess I was lucky in the sense that I got a band that was very prepared. Now,
Yeah,
that's what I would expect of my own self, my own bands anyway. So if I
right,
picked up a band and it just looked like a lot of work, I'd say, you know what? Thanks. When you guys are ready, come and get me.
right.
But So I mean, I put them through their paces. Like, okay, we're done with that one. Grab your guitar. Let's do this one. Grab your bass. Let's do this one. Let's, boom, 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 boom. Let's go. And I'd say 90% of them is at least one guitar, but guitar, bass, and drums live, full take.
Wow. Holy cow. They were really prepared.
Yeah, but that's what
Wow.
I wanted out of them. And I was like, this is what we're gonna do. And one guy was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was thinking of having shirts made up that said, "Are you hashtag Are you sure?" So I was like, "Yeah, it's
Wow.
what I want to do." And I was like, "Wow, well, we don't normally do it that way." I was like, "Well, it's easy enough to see if it's gonna work," and it did. So
Oh yeah.
hey, it's one of
Yeah.
the Kevin Beamish showing me. It's like, look, man, if this is my idea and it tanks, you know, it's my fault. If it does well, they're gonna look at you guys and think the band really has their act together. So you win either way.
This is true. Yeah, it's a great record. Yeah, I mean
Thank you.
it's got a live raw kind of thing, which I'm an old school guy. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can tell.
yeah, yeah. It's wow, but things just usually aren't done that way these days. Uh you know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's like
Yes.
not a lot of bands, and I don't mean to slam anybody because the technology's there. You don't have to be that prepared, I guess. Uh
No.
but but you go in and you do this in one take. It's like uh, that's rare. It's just rare. Because like I say, you don't really have to. You can patch things together, and you can plug this in and that in, and do it in pieces. It's really not that difficult with the technology we have. Uh,
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, however you might want to look at it.
Right.
Uh, but to have a band come in rehearsed, prepared, ready to go, ready to record, and just lay it down, man. Wow, that's cool.
And they can all sing, which also made it, easy for me because I'm from bands that could always sing, and they knew that. I mean, they knew Cold Sweat, they knew Saigon Kick.
Right.
So, I mean, the guitar player Justin whipped out Miss Jones, and I was like,
Nice.
I'm going, why is that so familiar? And I'm looking at him, and he goes, it's Miss Jones. I was like, oh, I know that one. But
I love it.
yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
so fun to have them come in and just go, all right, go. And I learned a long time ago, no matter what, you hit record because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You'd hate to go, shit, I wish we recorded that one. No, this was definitely, go throw and go. But there was one song the drummer was having a problem with, and I think he'd just gotten into his head and he's thinking red light fever. Everyone's looking at me. So what I did was we'd already got the guitar and the bass on a track on their track. So I said, just go in and mime, just play. You guys are usually playing live, just go. And that was a take we got.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's
it
cool.
was like, you guys, because part of it is, and Eric Bass told me this. He's like, you're gonna be more psychologist than you're gonna be recorder.
Right.
So he was
Get
right.
get him in the right headspace. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Beamish was the master of that because he would say we were not making widgets, we were making magic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, pretty cool. You mentioned Eric Bass, bass player for Shinedown, Barry
Yep.
Kirch, drummer for Shinedown. You
Yep.
worked on Kinell with them.
Yep.
Um, and I have to bring this up. I love Shinedown. An amazing, intense, just a great band with such a huge catalog now. But there was a time, and I think this was pre knowing you, on this level, um, when they put out Bully.
Right.
And I heard Bully, and the first thing I thought was on the verses was Saigon Kick. I totally. I mean the I don't know what
It's a
feeling,
major third, and it's a very Saigon Kick trick.
but
Yeah.
yeah, Beeler with the voice, I don't know if it's doubled or he does something with his throat or something, but there's this certain thing that he does where it sounds like a chorus of voices,
Yeah.
or at least two.
Him and Matt are just out of tune with each other, and that's what makes it sound like this. Like
Ah,
when he and I sang together, we didn't have that 'cause it was just too precise. But
okay.
Matt was enough to where it kind of swung around it, and it gave that, like you said, the very chorusy, weird sound. So
Yeah.
yeah, when I heard, what is it? 8 a.m. is the first phrase. It's 8 a.m. in
Yeah, yeah,
both.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We,
Yeah.
we, we were going to a restaurant here in Charleston. I heard that, and I looked at him and I'm like, that sounds familiar.
It does, right? Okay,
And
that's
I was, and he's like, dude, that's just the way it happened. I'm like, I don't care. I think it's fantastic. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
And Brent's the same. Brent was like, I had the records. You don't know when that stuff's going to pop out. So,
It's
but
yeah, and I'm not at all saying that it was a
no,
deal or anything like that. It's an influence, which is the ultimate compliment. I heard it and I was like, they got it. That yeah, I've never heard anybody reproduce that Saigon Kick sound with the
no,
voice. It's
no.
just a thing, and
Well, and on top of that, you have the fact that the ones I have heard have not been very good.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nothing you
Like
want
you
to hear
bring it down, and
again.
you're like,
Yeah.
hey, look, we did a cover. Yeah, you sure did.
But
Or
this
keep
just
covering that up with a blanket.
but this is it came and it's his own song. It's not like it's a Saigon a take off a Saigon
No,
song or anything. It's a Shinedown song totally, but the vocal, there's something about the magic of that vocal, whatever it is. It just had what Saigon had. And I was like, wow, I've never heard anybody nail it like that. It's
yep.
just really, really cool. I could tell it was an influence. They've heard the Saigon stuff.
Oh
And
yeah. First day I
so
met Eric, he was playing it in his CD player. We had a boombox. He turns it off real quick. I'm like, I know what that is. Turn it off. But for me, I mean, I don't assume there's this legacy and influence out there. I just go, we did what we did, and someone heard it. I don't. You don't know who heard it. You know,
true,
you don't know
true.
how much it influenced or didn't. Because there's people I'm sure go, I hate the band. I don't need to hear Love's on the Way again. And my point says, yeah, you do. Um, you're gonna get it until you get it.
Yes.
Sorry, that's just not very nice. But so with those guys, that was the last place I thought I'd ever hear, just because I know them,
Right, right,
and
right.
you just forget that you actually had an influence, and you're out there.
Yeah,
As Saint likes to say, fame and money are an accident. We can do this because it's who we are, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And you don't know who's going to pick it up. You just don't.
Yeah, yeah. And that's got to be fun to
Oh
to see a band like that who is not very Saigon Kickish. I mean, it's rock and roll, but I mean, they don't have a Saigon sound. Uh,
no,
to hear something like that, that all of a sudden touches on those little nuances of the Saigon stuff, it's got to be really a rewarding thing. It's like, yeah, what
oh
I
yeah,
did had an impact on somebody out there.
right,
That's
right,
really
yeah,
cool. You
yeah.
know,
Because you're just thinking at this point in my life, like, well, you don't know where um you planted seeds. You just don't. They were just flying out of the back of the tour bus.
yeah.
Uh,
It's great, man, and there's a lot more that were influenced out there for sure.
The thing is, though, and I have to pat myself on the back. I was lucky enough to be in a band with Phil Varone, who just sounds like Phil Varone. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
And Beeler's guitar playing is just still to this day just crazy good. It
yeah,
just is. So
yeah.
I'm trying to bring up the rear here. Okay, what can I can play piano, I can play bass, I can play guitar, I can sing.
But
But
I,
I
you know,
think
I There is just, and I've noticed this over the years, and I've learned to appreciate it as I get older. There is a chemistry. It's like a sports team too. You can get all the greatest players. I think the Redskins tried this back in the day of buying all the greatest players and putting them out on the field, and they
Yep.
sucked.
Yep.
It
Chemistry is absolutely everything.
is everything. I mean, you need to be decent. You need to be
Sure.
good at what you do, but you don't need to be the best. And there's a you get a group of guys who just have passion and chemistry and work together. They don't have to be super great at it, but they have this thing. There's a thing that happens, and it's magic. It's lightning in a bottle.
It totally is. And when you hear it for yourself, I mean, Cold Sweat went through this, and so like we played Love Struck the first time in God knows 30 years, and it fell right into place. It sounded exactly right. And then with Saigon, I think we played the Lizard first, and as soon as Phil started on the drum beat, I was like, right. And even Phil and I were looking at each other like, yeah, uh-huh.
it's
Listen to
just
that.
there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cannot replace it because we've all played in versions of the bands where we've had people come in and out, and you just like how did it go? Like the fifth space player Jake subbed for me on the Monsters of Rock cruise because I couldn't be there. Right.
right.
The doctor told me, said, yeah, you can probably go, but if you bleed out, you're going to be in trouble. I won't go. That's
Good idea.
right. So, but Jake, who was a great bass player, I mean, he literally he did everything I wanted for the fifth record, first time through, sang part. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's out with a band called Gunshine as well now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he plays with Gunshine, and he's just killing.
Uh,
But I said, how'd it go? And Anthony was like, well, he's like, no offense, I love the guy, but it wasn't you. We did
yeah.
not sound right. And Mark had said the same thing too, because Jake sings, but he can't sing like I can't sing high.
Okay.
So Mark was just like, our vocal sound was just not what it is. So you realize what you bring to the chemistry table,
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the lab, as it were. And but it's certainly, you know, like we played a bunch of gigs without Phil, and one was a couple with Jonathan Mover who can play Zappa. I mean, the fucker can play anything. Like
Right,
it's not like Saigon Kick. Like, oh, let me see if I can sit down and study this, guys.
right,
No,
right.
and I love the guy, but I told Phil we got to get you back,
Yeah,
because it doesn't feel. And Mover said the same thing. He's like, I know it doesn't sound like, but I want to get it as close as I can.
yeah, yeah.
So, and
It's
then I think what happens is that Jason and Mathen didn't like gel the way they're used to hearing because they're not hearing things sound like
right.
they're used to hearing.
Everything's off a little bit. Yeah, sure. You got a new record, Canal record coming.
Yep.
Cold Sweat,
Got
right?
that. Yeah, we got a single, first one in 30 years called Loud and Forever, and it's on the vinyl version. And people are like, oh, I got to buy the record to get it. I'm like, okay, well, now how far are we splitting down these hairs of, ownership on the music? It's like,
Right.
we're
Yeah.
trying to just give you the best we can. But it's going to be digitally out soon enough, like very soon. And then we're going to release it as a single too. So the flip side, the B side will be Fistful of Money from the Monsters Rock Cruise. That tune sounded pretty good live, so we threw that one too. So, but yeah, to your point about chemistry, we started throwing stuff around, and we're like, okay, that sounds like this person's to us. That person sounds like this person's influence. This one, this one, this one, and it all flipped together and felt great.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we get asked, you guys are going to do a whole record. And I don't know. We want to see what people think about this one. I like it, but my
Yeah.
mom thinks I'm handsome, so who cares?
Yeah, we as fans would love to see it for sure. And the early 2026, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was going to be out now, like literally just for the
Okay.
Christmas rush, and it might be, but backing it up in the marketing and the actual material, they want like 8, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then Canal, um, I'm messing around with the title for it. I want to I don't know if I want to name it after a song or phrase on the record again. or just be really just stupid and immature and just call the record's called Fuh, Fuh. So you got fucking L.
Right.
So I don't know.
I love
I don't know how crass I want to be. We'll see.
it.
But yeah, man,
uh,
it's
uh,
we've been also stacking up some covers too, just to amuse ourselves. So we
cool.
have a whole actually we have a whole album worth of covers as well.
With the Canal Band.
Yeah, yep.
Awesome. That's way
So
cool.
we have a little teaser. We have Hollywood by Thin Lizzy, of
Oh,
course. Gotta have one of those. In.
yeah.
19 by Grand Slam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the Phil Lynott thing.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
We
That's
have The River by Bruce Springsteen,
oh wow.
which is by far the saddest and most just brutally awful song I've ever heard. So it's like, let's turn
That's
this around and turn into a power somehow thing.
that's an odd tune. That's why I reacted that way. It's like, wow, the river is what do
It's
you do? What do you do with that? It's so Springsteen,
oh yeah, yeah.
you know.
So I put harmonies on it, guitar and vocal, and it sounds very it sounds almost like it's off of the Wild Frontier by Gary Moore.
Okay.
Put a penny whistle on it, put all sorts of shit. Then the other one is Copperhead Road by Steve
Oh
O.
yeah. What a great song.
Oh yeah,
What a
yep.
great song.
So that one we have, and there's another one we just picked up. Oh, Dance in the Moonlight. That'll be
Oh, yeah. Who was that?
not the Southside Johnny version, but
No,
the Thin Lizzy. It's on Bad Reputation.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'm thinking of the other song.
Yeah, you're thinking the other one, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dancing in the moonlight.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So on Tuesday we're gonna go finish one song off that record, off the new one called "Ready or Not," and then we're gonna do Dance in the Moonlight. So get all the saxophone sound on those. And the guy we're using is a guy named Alan Brissendine. He's a guy here in Charleston. He played in the Pink Floyd band we had for a while. He's just
Oh,
killer.
yeah.
You can't just stump him. My favorite Alan moment was he and I and one other person were playing a gig in a bar on like a Sunday night just to amuse ourselves. We played War Pigs as a trio, and
Oh,
he knew all of Iommi's licks on sax.
that'd be great.
It was
Wow.
just one of those like the bartender stopped. It was so good.
Yeah, it
So
had to
that
be so unusual too.
oh
Such
yeah,
a cool take.
yep.
Wow.
So
Oh, that'd be great, man. That
so
would be
yeah, so
cool.
I'm eager to get him in on that. And
Very
then
cool.
you got Big Mick and the Curl. The fifth record is done except for drums because I could have programmed them out because basic, but I
Yeah.
want like real drums.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chris, man, it always great to see you. Even greater this time, I'll be honest with you.
Thank you for having me in.
It's man, I'm so thankful that you're here. Bless you, man.
Never a dull moment.
It's never a dull moment. It makes this life thing a lot more fun, right?
And does it? Yeah, when someone says, "How you doing?" Well, how much time you got?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But it always reminds me of the scene in Young Frankenstein when I go, "Oh, what a filthy job! Could be worse. How? Could be raining."
Yes, yes. Yeah, I remember that from when I was a kid. That was real there, and then
Yep, yep.
oh, it
Then
was great.
the downpour begins.
Yep, yep,
But yeah, my goal here is the Parkinson's is manageable with the DBS, which is fine.
yep.
Um, and then for the cancer, again, everything I've seen since we've done the initial radiation and the tonsillectomy, it's everything's out. No evidence of cancer in the body. The PET scans have been clear, so I think I go quarterly for the next 2 years. Then I go semi-annually for the next 2 years, and then just annually 5 years. And they said they have every confidence they've killed it is gone. So I'll be set. I'll be set and ready to go. Free to go.
Just awesome, man. It's just so great, man.
But
So,
I
so
can
happy.
tell you this though, to your point earlier, go get checked. If you think it's bad, it might be, and whatever it is, you already have it if you have something.
Yeah.
So the doctor had told me since they had never had anyone cough up their own biopsy, they were able to catch it like before stage one. It wasn't even on the initial CAT scan or CT scan, PET scan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, well, what we, so clearly I have it. What would have happened? And I said, well, we would have gone back in and said, I got this thing in my throat, and okay, we'll give you an antibiotic, and it wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you do it again,
Yeah.
and then it would be biopsy time. I said, well, how far along would it have been at that point? And he said, probably 2 or 3.
Man.
So I was really, yeah. So I mean, it got to the point where I would sit down in someone's office and they say, "So you're the guy who coughed up his own biopsy?" Yep, that's me. And it's, yeah,
So every once in a while, everybody needs to sing "Delivering the Goods" in their car and see what happens.
exactly.
Uh,
And don't swallow that thing and don't throw it out the window.
yeah.
Because that's the other thing he said. He's like, you had the presence of mind to keep it and bring it in. I was like, well, I knew it didn't look normal.
Yeah.
Something was off. Someone just said, pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You know,
mean,
and
I have a running log of all the Saigon gigs, most
yep.
of the Cold Sweat gigs. I think some of the Cold Gin gigs, and then we did a live karaoke band in town for a couple of years, and I wrote down those too.
I remember when we first talked. That was a long time ago now. But I had seen you guys at a place called Toto's, I believe, in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yes,
And you pulled it up like right after we hung up. You pulled up your log from that day because somebody had come out to see you from Wisconsin. He had come down and he owned a bar, and
Gonzo.
there you go. Yep. And you pulled it up and had the whole story there. I was like, that's the day. That was the day. And it was just you just I said, wow, man, only Chris McLernon can do that.
All right.
Holy.
On a related note, a lot of the stuff that I wrote, as I called it, Chris's Cancer Chronicles. Um, I got a lot of feedback from people who said that they really enjoyed it. Made them feel better about their own struggles, and the people who came forward and talked to me, I was so grateful for that.
Yep.
But it made me go, all right, you know what? My high school teacher was a guy named Bill Treadway, and he always encouraged me to write. He's like, "Man, you got talent, right?" So I am now writing a books, I should say. So the first book is from 85 to 89. It deals with moving to Los Angeles and getting signed and then having our deal yanked away at the last minute because Oni went to join Lynch Mob.
Ah,
And
wow.
so I'm covering moving to LA and then different bands I was in and people who are in band. Speaking of Soto, he
Yeah. So- so-
we
so-
were in a band together called Carrera at one point, but it like I was coming and he was leaving one of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so thankful, grateful to know you guys. You're just such an inspiration, man. And when I see the way you handle your life, that with the intelligence and the temperance that you go through this stuff with, like I said, it's inspirational, man. Because I'm not that guy. I am not Chris McLernon, man. I would freak my shit, and I'm ready to cash in my chips. I don't like pain, and I don't like being unhappy, and but man, I say to myself, it's like, what would Jesus do? It's like, how would Chris handle this? And it really, seriously, because I watch and it's like, you just handle it with such grace, man. It's uncanny. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Thank you.
So I hope to be more like yourself for sure. When bad times come my way, to field the ball like you have is pretty great, man.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's all again how I'm wired, but I think it's the crucial element is at some point some part of this is funny. Yeah,
I
it
don't
really
know.
is.
I would disagree with that. It is not funny at all, man.
Oh, dude, you should see how they shaved my head for the DBS. It was like a bad combination of Montgomery Burns and Dick Cheney. I'm like, why don't you just shave my whole fucking head? You gotta make me look like that? Like, huh? Like, is this a surgeon having his little joke with me? You know, what are you doing? But there's always something. And luckily, I think for me, I'm around a lot of funny people who are more than happy to point things out for me, like
Yeah.
Verone.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. That, and that is, you surround yourself with positivity and that
Yeah.
non-toxic
Yeah,
environment.
man. Well,
Yeah.
that was one thing they did tell me is like, look, if you have someone who's bad and toxic in your life, whether they know it or not, don't get around them.
Yeah.
Just don't get
Yeah.
away. Even if you tell them to go fuck themselves, you cannot have it. It'll
Right.
eat you alive.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
kind of you make you think, well, where else does that spill over? You know?
Right. Right. Even when
Yeah.
you don't have Parkinson's or throat cancer, the
Right.
toxic people in your life are bringing you down and slowly killing you. So yeah, it
Yeah.
is
What do they
something.
call death by a thousand cuts?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's serious, and there's so much of that, especially now.
Well, and
It,
I've said to some people who've started, I'm like, stop now, stop.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they get, whoa, what? What's that? I was like, you're a drag. I
yeah,
can't, I can't put up with this.
yeah,
Doctor's orders. I'm not doing it. You
yeah.
know, which doesn't mean I want to walk through life, butterflies and happiness. And I'm in a Sid and
Well,
Marty Krofft cartoon, but it's what you choose to inflict upon yourself. I have a tattoo on my back of a horse. And the horse has two arrows in it, and it's the Buddhist concept of two arrows, first and second arrow. The first arrow, you cannot control it. It comes in and hits you. The second arrow is your reaction to the first arrow.
wow, yeah, that's perfect sense. Yeah,
When I found out, I called it when I outed myself. I look, I had Parkinson's, and my high school roommate got a hold of me, and he's like, "Hey man, I got it too." And da da da. I said, "Well, because at this point, other than finally, saying something about it, I was like, I was really torn about either A, being in denial, I figuring I'll just get through this, and if someone notices, they notice, and most people are going to be too polite and say something, to say something. So I said, what did you do? He goes, well, at first I told everybody, and now I don't tell anybody, and I've gone the other way. I started out with, you know what? I don't want anybody to know. But now, like I was telling you about the DBS symposium, I got a hold of MSC and just said, if you got anything like that, I'm in.
yeah,
I'd be happy to help. Anyone has any questions, I don't care how scared they are. I don't care if they write it on a napkin and slip it to me and say, don't tell anyone I told you.
right,
But I'm more than happy to. And I know the phrase, we're going to create awareness. Well, I got it, so I'm pretty fucking aware of it.
right, right.
I don't have to create shit.
Yeah, yes,
So, and I think thanks to Fox, everyone's well aware. But I've met some great, just fantastic people through it.
yeah,
And it's interesting. It's the old, are you given what you can handle? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I think a lot of people I've met uh, are that way. There's just something about them.
yeah.
Now, Sanjeev, who I mentioned earlier, said to me when we were in New York, he said, "Do you think that us getting this made us get rid of our egos?" And I really sat and I thought about it. I said, yeah, you're right. I was like, because it as soon as you have this diagnosis, you get this gift really of you don't matter. So make what you do
Yeah.
matter, but don't make it all about you. And try and get to the point of somebody else and their struggle, no matter what it is probably first.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you
yeah.
got to, what does it put on your mask before you put on the mask? But if there's some
Right,
change in pressure, cabin
right.
pressure. Yeah, this is a type of cabin pressure.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be alive to take care of other people.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and again, back to the way I'm wired, I guess part of me is just still so ensconced in being an entertainer. I'd rather have someone crack up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's
It deflects a little bit away from me. Ah, he was funny. Oh, I didn't ask that question. No, you know,
well,
because sometimes some of the questions do have long answers, as we've seen today.
yeah, yes, yes. But it's I guess it's like the comedian that it comes onto the stage and they're deaf or blind or they're in a wheelchair and have some disease, um, and they just spend their time. I've seen this. They spend their time not making fun of themselves, but laughing at what they deal with,
Yep.
and they're very funny usually, and they it's just making your dark spot a little lighter or a lot lighter,
Yep.
because it's not going to go away. You're dealing with what you're dealing with.
Right.
It's so you might as well deal with it in a lighter sense. uh,
Yep. And I saw Fox do that in New York. He spoke to the crowd, and then he was walking out, and they're holding him by the elbow, but he tripped over a cord, and he jumped around and goes, "Up, see, dancing."
yeah.
Wow, man,
Yep.
that because you get it, and you compare yourself like, wow, I'm nowhere near that guy, and he is just finding something to get through to the bright side of this.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Because what else are you gonna? Honestly, it does kind of get down to what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. And it's
It's like my dad likes to say, although I've heard John Wayne say it too, life is tough, but it's a whole lot tougher if you're stupid.
yeah. There
And
you go.
stupid could mean stupid choices.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And here's the disclaimer too. I am speaking for myself here. I know
Right.
people who I've seen it, they have Parkinson's or cancer way worse than I.
Yeah.
And I don't know how flippant or glib or upbeat I would be if I was in their situation. But I know this is what works for me. This was gets me up out of the bed every day, pick up a guitar, pick up a pencil and start writing, whatever.
Yeah.
Gets me to the gym and back, has me go out with friends, that sort of thing. Might there come a day when I can? Yeah, there might, but
Yep.
nothing's guaranteed, man.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
I've learned that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And you're taking your each day as it's given to you, which is all we can really do.
Yeah,
It's
one of the craziest things because on Instagram sometimes there's some things that are kind of fun and neat, and someone points out something like, okay, that's interesting. But this
yeah.
this one said the day you're born and the day you die are the only 2 days in your life that you don't live all the way through 24 hours.
Wow. There you go. That is
Right. So
it.
I've already had one. I was born.
Yeah. Chris, I love you, man, and it's great to have you. You're an inspiration. Truly, truly. Let's do it again, man.
Yeah. Oh,
We
there'll
got.
be something new.
I was gonna say we got all kinds of stuff coming from you, man. It's so cool. What about the road? Are you? Is there anything planned on a show or anything? Or are you? Do you look forward to getting back out, doing a tour or going places, yeah, and playing, or is that kind of done for you?
I don't. That's a good question because in some ways I'm done.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah,
Because there's a level of ability I want to be able to reproduce again. Because I was in Saigon Kick and Phil and Jason are at the top of their craft still. You
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
now you got Jeff out there singing. It's like I don't want and Gib does a fantastic job of filling in for me.
yeah,
But I thought, well, if I came back, we move Steve back over to guitar, and you know, what happens if I make a mistake, and we'll like ha ha ha, or we'll be like, hey, dude, enough with the mistakes already. I don't, these are all things in my head, but
right,
I don't know. We've talked about doing the cruise again. We've talked about doing Monster of the Mountain again. And with those things, I love doing them because I love seeing the fans who come up and there's someone or always has some sort of memorabilia that I've never seen before, which always cracks me
yeah,
up.
yeah,
But it's I don't know because to answer your question bluntly, I don't know because I think that's such a mental drain.
yeah,
It really is. People don't realize how much of a drain it is when you're healthy.
right. Yep.
Like I remember asking Doug, I was like, "How long would it take for you to play the gig?" He's like, "Oh, 6 months. I feel good."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But 6 months is 6 months, and I'm just finishing up 6 months. So if I had to go play a couple of shows now, I could. Do I want to? I don't know.
Yeah. Chris, I'm gonna let you go. We'll talk again.
You
Let's do
got it.
this. Yeah.
Love this. Love you. So glad we get to catch up like we do, and typically good news. Hey,
Yes, yes. How about that, man? This is good, man. It's all good. You're here. I'm here.
yep.
We're doing this. We're smiling. It's a wonderful thing, man.
Could be worse. Could be
Thankful for
raining.
you, man. Thankful, very much. Yeah, let's do it again, Chris. Love you, man. We'll see you soon.
You got it, man. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye.